Okay, hey everybody, this is Mr. C of Mr. C's Homeschool Music Academy, and welcome to Single Instrument Lesson Ukulele. Okay, this is day one of ukulele. Okay, free lesson for today. All right, and then after this, it'll be only accessible to those who are members of the Academy starting next week. Okay, but let's take a look at what we are supposed to do. First of all, materials. We need to have a ukulele. Okay, make sure that you have a ukulele. Ukulele again is our four-string instrument. Okay, small replica sort of a guitar. Okay, as opposed to the six strings that you get on the guitar, you get you have four strings over here. The body parts, the parts of the ukulele are the same as follows for the most part. So let's get into technicalities, all right? The first things first, when you handle the ukulele, just like a guitar, you definitely want to hold it by the neck. This is the neck over here. On top of the neck, this flat side over here is known as the fretboard, okay? And the lines that are going across are known as the fret lines, okay? However, the top line over here, okay, just before the headstock, the top line over here that's bolded white, okay, this is known as the nut, okay? So you have the nut, and then you have all fret lines: first fret, second fret, third fret, fourth, fifth, and so on and so forth. We're going to be mainly working today, right now, for our within our first, second, and third fret lines. Okay, we're going to be working on that. Also, on the headstock, as I mentioned before, you also have four tuning pegs. Okay, you got the tuning pegs. These are to tune your strings to the particular notes that they're supposed to be. For instance, so if we are holding them by the neck, okay, all right, this is the body over here. You're going to hold it close to your chest for the most part, just like so, okay? You're going to have available also a pick for your right hand to strum, okay? But you're going to be needing to do that. And you want to sort of cradle the body. This is the body of the instrument, okay? You want to cradle it with your right arm, okay? And be ready to strum, be ready to play. Now, here's if we're looking at the neck, let's go back to the neck over here. If we're looking at the individual strings, okay, you have your G string, your C string, your E string, and then your A string, okay? So each of these strings are tuned to those particular notes, okay? Okay, if you happen to have a tuner, that's something else that you're going to need, okay? When you purchase a stringed instrument, you want to have a tuner as well. But if you don't want to purchase the actual tuner, what I do is I've actually downloaded on my phone, okay? You can download for free. You go into your app store, whatever, you know, whether you have Apple, you have Android, or whatever. Go into your app store where you can purchase for free. Find a free app that is a tuner, okay? Mine happens to be Guitar Tuna. That's just one of other free tuning apps that you can get, but Guitar Tuna it's called, and that's what I use in order to tune my guitar as well as my ukulele. And it actually has also the capability of tuning a mandolin, I believe, and a violin as well, okay? So you can have tuning apps that'll be able to tune multiple instruments, sometimes on a wide spectrum. Okay, but again, Guitar Tuna is just one of many free apps that you can get. Okay, some of them are not free, you know, it just depends. But, you know, I always go with the free because if I can, you know, and it works fine. You know, I've been able to tune my ukulele and my guitar, you know, constantly with that particular app. So, you know, it's a definitely great thing to have. Okay, so you don't have to pay money on a tuner if you don't want to. Okay, but again, those strings again are G from the top over here, your G string, your C string, E string, and then A string, okay? Now, here's the thing. Excuse me. Breakfast, okay. But here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing. Notice that I am going through a lot of fundamentals, a lot of basics right now. This is something I didn't explain really at the beginning. I usually do explain it at the beginning of first lessons, okay? But I'm going through these basics, okay, for obvious reasons in a way. Those of you who are watching, you might have had no experience whatsoever, okay? For those people who have no experience with the ukulele whatsoever, and this is the first time, this is going to be very beneficial that I start from the very beginning. For those of you who are watching who have probably had some had some experience with the ukulele, and just kind of want to get down to the things that you don't know. Okay, here's the thing. Again, for those people who haven't had experience, I definitely need to take it at the very start, okay? Making sure that we know our strings, we know the parts of the ukulele and how to maintain it, how to handle the instrument, okay? We want to get into that, a lot of basics and stuff, so that those people who are doing this for the first time, they can get on the right foot. But it is also beneficial. It doesn't mean that those of you who have had experience, okay, should dismiss this video altogether, because maybe you've had some experience and you know some things, but there might be some things fundamentally that I might mention that you might go, oh yeah, I forgot about that for like a little while, or yeah, now I remember. Or maybe it's something that even when you were learning for the first time, maybe you go, oh wait, I wasn't taught that. That happens too. I wasn't taught that concept. Wow, I didn't know that. Okay, I just kind of learned this, but I didn't learn this aspect. Okay, so you definitely don't want to dismiss any videos. I have to do this again in a starting today, since this is day one, we're going to do it very sequentially. All concepts are going to go very sequentially so that we can get everybody up to date with what they should be doing, especially when it comes to learning a song for the first time, which that's what these classes are going to do. We're going to get into, I'm going to get deep into the learning to play the instrument and then being able to play a song. That's what makes this class different from the general music class, because the general music class, I just kind of go over some basics and then I kind of keep it at that. Okay, I kind of keep it at that. Whereas with the single instrument lesson package, you get, whatever instrument you choose, you get an in-depth and then learning to play a song, learning to master your instrument. That's the goal of these lessons. So here we go. Let's go back again. So again, technique. Make sure your posture is good. By the way, make sure. Okay, I'm always a big fan of posture. Our backs should be straight. Our shoulders relaxed. Okay. Our right hand holding the pick. Here's a pick. Okay, an example of a pick. You want to have the pointy side kind of facing into the body, to the strings where it's on the body of the instrument. Okay, this is again like the guitar. It has a sound hole, okay, in which the sound travels in through the sound hole and out so that you can hear it. Okay, this rectangular part on the bottom that holds the strings foundationally here, this is known as the bridge. Okay, so this is the bridge of the instrument. You got the bridge, the body, the sound hole. Okay, you got your strings G, C, E, and A. Okay, your fretboard, your fret lines, your nut, the headstock, and the tuning pegs. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and that's how this is again how we should be holding. I know I keep looking this way because I'm looking at the monitor, make sure I'm modeling it for you correctly. But we want to hold the body, cradle it with our right hand, cradle the body with the right hand, and support with the neck with our left hand, since we're also going to be doing a lot of fretting with our fingers. So today, what I'd like to show you guys, just to start off with, is the C major scale. Same thing I did when it came to the guitar. If you want to check out the free guitar day one guitar lesson, you can be able to see that on the Patreon dashboard through Mr. C's Homeschool Music Academy. You'll be able to find that. Okay, I went over the C scale on the guitar, and we're going to do the same thing to start off with the ukulele. Okay, now I'm going to put this down for a little bit, because I'm also going to write on the board. It'd be a good idea for you guys to have a blank piece of paper to write these things down. Okay, I'm going to use the board a lot, to show you something called the ukulele tabs. On the guitar lesson, I explained about the guitar tab. Okay, but since we're playing the ukulele now, we're going to go over our ukulele tab. Okay, and how that works. Okay, so basically the ukulele tab, okay, is just a diagram, okay, of how so that we can be guided, almost like a graph type of thing, okay, to be guided in playing the ukulele. All right, so when you look at a ukulele tab, just to start off with, all right, everybody watch over here. We're going to look at the vertical lines. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, you want to draw 4 vertical lines like this. you want to draw a line that goes across, okay, and make that top line actually a little bit bolden. And it's going to be more bolden than the other lines that are going to go across. So here's another one. You go a certain space down. Here's another line across. Here's another one, and then the last one. Okay. All right. I mentioned on the ukulele that we're going to be working basically with our first fret, second, and our third. Okay. We're going to stay within this realm here. Okay. First, second, and third fret. And of course, the bolden line across is known as the nut. Okay, this is the nut, that white line on the top just before the headstock. Okay, and so we have that. So this is our nut, our first fret, our second fret, our third fret. Now the lines going vertically, however, the lines going vertically represent the strings of the ukulele. Okay, so as I mentioned before, this is our G. This is our G represents, the first one represents our G string. Second one represents our C string. Our third represents the E string. And our last one represents the A string. Okay, G, C, E, and A. This is how we read a ukulele tab. Okay, in this fashion when it's vertically like this. Okay, however, I'm going to draw another one. I'm going to draw another ukulele tab. Okay, but it's going to go across as opposed to vertically. Okay, this is another way we do it. So when we're doing melody, for instance, our C major scale, okay, when it comes to our C major scale, we have to view it this way. So watch this. Draw four lines across underneath each other. 2, 3, and 4. We're going to have our one line across the top of these lines, make it a little more bolden. This will represent our nut. This is the nut. Okay, then go another ways down. First fret, second fret, third fret. Okay, we don't have to make a line across over here. We can just kind of leave that the way it is. All right, so this is going to be our C major scale, and watch what's going to happen now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make dots, okay, on the notes that we're going to play according to our C major scale. Okay, so for instance, I'm going to make an O over here. Okay, this is our C. This is our excuse me. Let me redo that. Okay, this is going to be our C. This is the C string. Okay, and I have a circle around it, kind of as an O, to let us know that this is an open string. Okay, this is the open string, which means we're going to be plucking that string. Okay, just open without putting our left fingers on it. Okay, we're not going to do any of that. Okay, now I'm just going to, sometimes I need a little reference. Okay, so we're plucking our C string. Okay, that's what we're doing there, our C string with our pick. Okay, but then when we play the next note, that's correct. All right, I'll show you more in depth when it comes to that. But when it comes to our next note, I'm gonna put this down for a little bit. Okay, I'm going to now write a D with a circle on it, and that is going to be our D. That's going to be our D note. Okay, where we're going to place our middle finger on there, our middle finger. So I'm going to write an M for that. Okay, M for middle finger. Okay, and actually this is, I'm going to write a number next to the C. I'm backtracking a little bit. I'm going to write a number 1 because that's the first note we're going to pluck. And I'm going to write a number 2 for the D. That's the second note. So it's going to follow that alphabetical order. C, D. C is first, D is second, using our middle finger there. Okay, and then we're going to go from there to pluck E string. Okay, that's our third string. That's our third string. So I'm going to write an E. It's going to be an open string as well. Okay, that's number 3. All right. After that, we're going to go right over here to our F. Okay, we're going to pluck that, and that's our fourth string using our index, index finger. Okay, our index finger is going to pluck that particular note. Okay, and it's going to be between the nut and the first fret. Okay, here's again the first fret. This is the second fret, and this is the third fret. Okay, so again, between the first and second fret are D. We have open string E, our third note. Our fourth note, index finger between the nut and the first fret. Between nut and first fret, that is our index finger. That's our F. Then we are going to pluck our G note. Okay, our G note, which is going to be our ring finger. I'm going to place an R right there to know that's a ring finger, and that is our fifth note. That's note number 5. Okay, after that, that's G. Then we're going to pluck our A note. That's our A string, which is an open string, and that is our number 6 note. Okay. After that, we have our B, 7th note, using our middle finger for this one. Okay. And then our ring finger will be high C. Ring finger for this one between second and third fret, and that is our 8th note. Okay, just like those, just like that. So we have C as our first note, D second, E, F, G, A, B, and high C. Okay, that's how we're going to look at that. All right, we're going to use, generally speaking, guys, what you want to keep in mind is that you're going to use your again, anything that's over here as far as our open strings, that we don't have to place our fingers. But anything that's between the nut and the first fret, we're going to use our index finger for that. Okay, use our index finger for that. Anything between first and second fret, we're going to use our middle finger for that, hence the M. Okay, and anything that's between the second and third fret, we're going to use our ring finger, hence the R. So again, it's just kind of like an answer key, so that you guys know I is index finger. Okay, your M, the M stands for middle finger. And our R stands for the ring finger. Okay. By the way, there will be a practice sheet. Okay. Anybody who does this lesson. Okay. The practice sheet will be available. Okay, so that you can see this type of all of this, everything that I wrote here. You're definitely going to be able to see. If you want to write it down, you definitely can. I definitely encourage that, because when you write things down, it actually solidifies it for you more. But there will also be a practice sheet available so that you can follow, okay, doing this, okay? So again, we're going to follow this sequence, okay? And I'm going to go now, everything that I wrote here as far as the C major scale is concerned, we're going to play it together, okay? So let's do this, guys. Here we go. I'm going to come close up, okay? Now I'm going to come close up. You may not see. You're going to see part of my head, okay? But we're going to focus over here. Let's make sure, again, we have our left hand grasping the neck, okay? Our right arm is cradling, okay? We have good posture, so we're sitting or standing up straight. Shoulders are relaxed, okay? And this is what we're going to do. We're going to use good technique when it comes to the left hand. Same thing that I taught in the guitar, same thing as well with the ukulele. We make sure that we have the thumb on the back of the neck, placed on the back of the neck, okay? Depending on wherever you're fretting with your other fingers, okay, it can go anywhere on the neck, so long as you use that as a support, okay? Now, while we're doing that, our wrist needs to be bent this way, okay? Not this way, but this way. It needs to be bent this way so that it gives you leverage over the notes that you're trying to play, all right? Now, we are doing our C scale. So the first note in the C scale is our C, is the lower C, and we're going to use our C string. Notice, see where I'm sliding my index finger on that C, okay? That, again, as I told you before, is an open string. Open string. So we follow that, and all we're going to do, we're not going to place our fingers on the fretboard just yet. Okay, we're going to hold it in support like so, and you're going to pluck with your pick, pointy side here. Okay, you're going to pluck your C string. Everybody, here's your G, this is your C. Everybody pluck that and go. That's your C note, okay? That's your low C. Now, next note is D, right? Next note is D, and according to our ukulele tab, okay, we're going to use the same string, go to the first and second fret, okay, using our middle finger. That's the second note, our D. And so we're going to use the middle finger. Your middle finger is going to be placed, see where it is? Between the first and second fret on the C string, use the tips of your fingers. When I say tips, I mean take a good look over here, tip, okay, before the nail, but not underneath the nail, okay, but just on the tip. And when I say tip, I don't mean this part either. I don't want to use this part because that part then extends over to other strings and will affect the sound of every note that you're playing, or even chords that you're playing. So get used to using the very tips of your fingers, okay? And you're going to it's going to feel like, okay? It's going to feel like it's really cutting into, even though it's not really cutting, okay? But it's going to be digging into your tip, okay? Especially because you're going to have to press it firmly. You're going to have to utilize your wrist, okay, to make sure it's bent this way, right? So that you have leverage over the strings and making sure that you're pressing firmly enough where your fingertips are pressing firmly enough on the string so that the string is touching the fretboard, okay? It's got to be hard, okay? So it's got to be just like that with your thumb on the back, okay? And then you're going to take your pick and you're going to pluck that same C string with the D note fretted. The D note is fretted, and watch how it sounds. That's how it should sound. That's how your D should sound right now, okay? So if you take it off, if you release it, you have your C, and then your next note is D, okay? C, D, okay? So that is your D. Let's review that again. So here's C, and then middle finger placed on your C string between first and second fret, tip, wrist, and there's your D. Play that D again. Okay. Now, after that, look on the ukulele tab. We have to go to our E note, which is our E string. Okay, and our E string is an open. Okay, open. Third note, open string. So we release completely. Okay, still holding the neck though, and then we're going to go to our third string. Here we'll see this is our E string. And you're just going to pluck that E string all by itself. Everybody ready? And pluck it. Go. There's our E string, okay? By the way, I'm utilizing wrist, in order to pluck those strings, okay? You don't have to use your whole arm, okay? Again, if you're cradling it, just a nice simple wrist, okay? So again, that's our E. Let's review those notes. Open C string. Everybody, let's go back to the second string, okay? And play the C string, okay? Then middle finger placed on the C string between first and second fret. Okay, that's for your D. Everybody pluck that. Good. And then release and go open string E, which is your third string, right after the C string. Everybody play that with me and go. E. Good. Then after that, you're going to still utilize the same E string. But now index finger is going to be placed on the E string between your nut and your first fret. Okay, between the nut and the first fret, you have your E string. This is for your F note, using the tip of your index finger. Everybody, this is the F. It should sound just like that. Everybody pluck that with me and go. All right, making sure again your wrist is pointed outward or downward, however you want to look at it. Okay, so that you have leverage over your string and you're pressing it against the fretboard, okay? With the tip of your finger. Now, we're going to utilize the same E string and going to go right to G, the G note between second and third fret, and that's where our ring finger. Now we're going to use our ring finger for that. That's going to be your G note. Use the ring finger, press firmly with the tip. Okay, wrist pointed outward or downward, and pluck the same E string for your G note. That's how it should sound. Everybody pluck it again with me and go. Okay, just like that. Now, after that, we're going to release. We're going to go to our A string on the bottom here. Our A string, that according to our ukulele tab is an open string because it is the A note. So all we're going to do is pluck that last string on the bottom. That's your A. Everybody should be plucking that. Let's do that together and go A. Okay, then after that, you're going to use the same string, go between your first and second fret with your middle finger, okay, on the A string. This is going to be your B note, and this is your B note. Should sound like this. Okay, everybody pluck B for me. Ready, and go. Right, good job. And then the last note, our high C note, is going to be on the same string. Okay, between second and third fret this time, but you're going to use your ring finger for this one. Ring finger, everybody place it firmly, and it should sound like this. Okay, everybody pluck that with me and go. All right, that is your high C string. Okay, so we just went from low C to the high C. Okay, guess what? When it comes to our C major scale, okay, work, when we do this, now we have to go what? Backwards, okay? So we went up, we ascended when it comes to the pitches from low C to high C. Now we must descend. We must go from high C to low C, okay? So we already just played our high C. You only need to play it once when you get up there. Now it's time to go backwards. Go back to B, same string, middle finger between first and second fret on your A string. This is your B note, okay? Play the B, everybody. Let's go, and okay. Then release, same string. This is for your A note, okay? Pluck it. Should sound just like that, okay? Then after that, you're going to go to your E string for your G note, ring finger between second and third fret. Place it firmly. This is your G note. Your G note. Everybody pluck that, go. Okay, then after that, index finger on the same string, however, between the nut and the first fret. This is for your F note. Index finger there. Should sound like this. That's your F. Everybody play that. Okay, then after that, release. Next note after F, or I should say before F, is really E. So this is an open string. There's your E. Everybody play that and go. Good. Now after that, you're going to go to that was your E. And then you're going to go to D note. The D note is on the C string between first and second fret. Middle finger is placed firmly right there. Make sure your wrist, again, technique is good. Okay. And here's your D note. Everybody play your D note. Go. And last and final, back to where we started. Okay, open string C. You just pluck that, no fretting involved. Everybody pluck your C string and go. Okay, so guys, ultimately, what you're looking to do is your regimen is going to be 10 times a day practicing the C major scale using the practice chart that I'm going to make available to you. Okay, and every day for 10 times a day, shouldn't take very long, just 10 times a day. Okay, and if you do it consecutively every day between now and next week, when you purchase your single instrument lesson package to learn the ukulele, you will be ready. You'll be absolutely ready to play this. You'll be able to play the C scale, and not only be able to play it, just play all the notes, okay, ascending and descending, but as you go along, if you practice, you will be able to play it a little faster too. You'll be able to develop speed and get to know what's involved in the C scale. This is a very good drill to do every day, not just C scale, but many scales, many different scales as well. Okay, so ultimately, watch this. You're looking to go from low C to high C. Oh, excuse me. By the way, when you want a note to stop resonating after you pluck it or you strum or whatever, you can just gently place your right hand across the top of those strings. Just place. So again, like if I just, strum all the strings right now, it'll resonate unless I just gently do this, okay? So that's the idea. So let's go, let me see what, oh, no, we are good. Okay, so guys, again, practice this 10 times per day. I'm gonna sit down here, okay? Practice this 10 times a day. Make sure you get the practice chart, which will be made available a little bit later today. But make sure you use that in your practice to visually see, okay, to get to know again where the nut is, the frets are, the letters of your strings, okay, and then follow the C major scale in order, going up, going down. That's how you're going to get good, just fluidity on your fingers, okay? Again, you're going to feel some tinge of pain on those tips, okay? You're definitely going to feel that after much practice. When you feel that, when it gets to be a little too much, stop a little bit, shake your hand out, okay, because it happened to me, yeah. And start, touching your fingers, the fingertips, right? Just kind of touch it a little bit and then get back on it, okay? Eventually, what's going to happen is it's going to feel almost like callus. Your fingertips are going to harden. Your fingers are going to strengthen, okay? You'll build more dexterity and tolerance for that tinge of pain when you practice. You're just going to get stronger there and more flexible when it comes to playing on the ukulele, okay? So it's all good for you. Trust me, it is definitely good for you. You won't, okay? But yeah, practice 10 times a day, okay, consecutively, okay? No more than 10 times, no less than 10 times, so that this way you don't lose your motivation for playing, especially if you're playing on a given day. You're playing on a given day and say within those 10 times, you're not satisfied, you're still making mistakes and things like that, okay? When you've done your 10 times, okay, do not look to practice more than that. It's not necessary, okay? Because what's going to happen is say you start practicing for an hour, 2 hours, okay? Then what happens is you start to get so frustrated because maybe you're not mastering that skill just yet, okay? You're not satisfied, and then to the point where you finally go, okay, that's it. I'm going to take. I'm done for today, right? Then what happens the next day is you go back to try to practice. And you're remembering how frustrated you were. It just happens, guys. You're remembering how frustrated you were the day before, and you go, you know what? I'll wait till tomorrow. And then tomorrow comes, and then same thing, same attitude. Oh, I'll wait the next day. Oh, I'll wait. And then before you know it, it's 2 hours before our lesson, and you're trying to cram in practice before. Guess what? Progress will not occur. It's not going to happen. Not that way, okay? It's got to be done on a consecutive basis. So to keep your motivation, okay, don't overdo practice. Trust me, you don't want to do that. Just 10 times a day is all that's necessary. You do 10 times in one day, and let's say you still haven't mastered it, put it away. Don't look at it until the next day. When the next day comes, you'll find that you're going to be like, you'll find that you pick up your instrument, you'll start playing, and then before you know it, it's like the mind needed some rest to settle in so that your fingers can develop muscle motor memory after the day before, and then before you know it, you're actually doing better than you were the day before, okay? And then the progress slowly but surely starts to happen. Okay, that's the point, my students. That's what you want. You want to do your 10 times, okay? Give it a rest. The next day, do it again, and before you know it, you will start to progress. You'll start to fly on those strings, okay? You're going to get very, very good at it, okay? So, guys, practice that way. Do not do more. Do not do too little either, okay? But every day, 10 times a day. That is my advice. Make sure you follow that, guys. And guys, we are all done today. Give yourselves a nice little round of applause. Okay, great job today. And again, those practice charts will be available a little bit later on. Everybody, I hope you enjoyed yourself. Okay, and as always, I wish you happy practicing. Everybody, take care and have yourselves a great rest of the day. Bye-bye.